Is this thing working? Are we live? It looks like we're live. What's happening, everybody? I hope everybody's having a fantastic whatever day you're watching this. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Like, subscribe, share, ring the bell. You know how all that stuff goes. Guys, my channel is really not much more than a background noise generator. I'm talking about cars, motorcycles, engine powered stuff, you name it. Two Wheel Tuesday, as the name would imply, mainly talking about motorcycles, motorcycle related topics. So, with all that being said, if you're new, thank you for stopping by. So let's dive into what am I up to lately. Oh yeah, by the way, this live show also serves as a means for me to interact with you guys directly. So if you got something you'd like to contribute, chime in there on the chat. If you feel like you're seeing something you like, give me a super chat. That helps me out a ton, keeps the channel going. But at any rate, I'll talk to you guys about some upcoming stuff that I'm going to be doing on the channel, and some behind the scenes stuff that sometimes you might find interesting or boring or whatever. So, checking in with you guys already. Skids is in. What is up? Got the flex. And the bald guy with the specs. I like it. Ryan is in too. Very nice. Very nice. So, for anybody that may be watching this, maybe after the live, I had a flat on the GSXR 750. Things got really weird. I made sure that I shared a little bit of that experience with you. Interesting enough, though, I wasn't filming anything when it went flat. And a lot of times I've got my rig on, right? So I'll have the camera and I'm filming, and this is the thing that is doing all the filming and the seeing of the stuff while I'm cruising around, right? You got your mic up in there somewhere, constantly going in my mouth and all that. Anyway, normally I'm wearing this helmet though, and I'm filming and just kind of documenting whatever I'm up to. I happen to not be wearing that helmet, unfortunately, when things got weird with the 750 and the flat. I suppose it would have been a little bit less of a story if I just happened to notice riding down the road that my tire felt weird or that something felt off about the bike. It really turned more into me diving into a turn with this bike and having the rear end step out. But I will say this, the Bridgestone tire never came off the bead. And even though I hit that corner pretty hard with a tire that had 0 PSI in it, it held together fine, or at least fine enough to where I was able to get the bike back home. So there is that. But anyway, yeah, I've got the rear tire off the bike. It is going to have an S22 fitted on the back of it. The reason why I'm going S22 is because on the GSXR 750, that is going to be one hell of a tire. But it's not like I had a real hard time making the BT016s do really well. It's just that you can't buy that tire from the manufacturer anymore. It's an OE tire only. So it's, well, how do I put this? It's the replacement for the 016 is the S22, and I've had great success with that tire, as have others that I know that have run it. So yes, S22 for the win. So anyway, getting back to it, yeah, I'm pretty stoked about that, getting that bike on the road again. But yeah, check your tire pressure. Although when you get a hole in your tire, there ain't much you can do. Just if it bike feels weird, immediately pull over and check. And again, safety first and all of that. Ryan saying time for new tires. DM saying, good evening, chat and friends. I like it. DM's asking B, when are you going to test ride an R1 for us? Whenever I can get my hands on one. I do have a bike that I'm going to be riding tomorrow, though, that I have been really looking forward to riding for a long time. It's been driving me nuts that I haven't been able to ride this bike. And as luck would have it, the opportunity has now presented itself. And, well, now is an opportunity for me to bring you that bike. Wow, this website is totally screwed up. Anyway, let me go ahead and just not leave the cat in the bag for any longer. Yeah, it's not working for me. Try this again. Wow, this thing is totally screwed up. Okay, I'm just going to leave that right there. Okay, now I'm going to show you the bike that I'll be riding. It should be doing it now. Okay, so yes, we are going to be rocking the Hornet 1000 tomorrow. Now, this is something that I've been just itching to get my hands all over for a long time. Guys, let me put it to you like this. The new Hornet is the value proposition hot rod if there ever was one. If there was a motorcycle equivalent of a big block Roadrunner, that's the Hornet. This bike has got over 150 horsepower, all the torque of a liter class bike. It's not exactly a lightweight. It doesn't have all of the technology that a lot of folks would fall in love with. It doesn't have the best suspension, although it is really good. It's got the BP 41 millimeters on it, as you can see right here, but it's got it where it counts. It is an absolute rocket when it comes to just performance in general, but at the price. I mean, you start looking at a bike that's $11,000 that offers up this level of performance, and it's going to be a tough, very tough bike to argue against. And I happen to know that these bikes is one of the things about these bikes is the engine is derived from the 2017 Fireblade, the CBR 1000. And it's got the typical naked bike modifications to make it work in this class where different camshafts make the power come on earlier and all of that. But still, it doesn't matter. This bike is, I mean, dude, this is not for the faint of heart. It is going to absolutely be a missile, and I cannot wait to get my leg over this bike. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and I finally get my chance to check it out. I will tell you this, before I dig into like the video or anything like that, this bike is smaller in person than you might like initially think about it to be. When I first saw the bike, I didn't even realize what I was looking at. So let me kind of illustrate it. Let me give you guys some behind the scenes real quick. I pulled the rear tire off of the GSXR 750 and ran it over to Stubbs. Thank you very much, Tommy, for hanging out for me and the guys in the service department. But it was one of those things where I had to get the tire over there, drop it off so that I would be able to get work done during the day and fetch this thing maybe at lunch. Well, as luck would have it, the Hornet showed up. The individual that was going to take it home decided against bringing it home with him. And so now it's on the showroom floor. I literally walked right past it because the dimensions of this bike are kind of small. And there was a mention that the 750s had made it in. And I thought, for like a dumb reason or another that I don't know what it is, I thought the bike that I was looking at was one of the 750 Hornets. And I thought, oh, this is badass. I can run the Hornet and I can run the Transalp 750. This would be a really cool back and forth between the two bikes for a day. No. My ass was looking at the 1000 Hornet SP. I don't know why I didn't click to it because I heard 750 and I was looking at it. I go, but what? But it's like, yeah, it's here. So I'll be able to throw a leg over this bike tomorrow. And guys, I am so excited to ride this bike like you could not believe. But the interesting thing about it is, man, it's got all the right parts in all the right places, boys. I'll put it to you that way. It doesn't have the big piston forks, but it's got 41s on it, right? The SP is going to come with an Olin shock. As far as technology suite, I mean, it's got wheelie control. It's got, which is part of traction control. It's like how would you call this? It's like a level 1 technology suite, right? I don't really, you guys know how I do my ride along videos. I don't read the owner's manual to you guys. I'm just like, look, here it is. It's badass. The screen looks good. Let's get it on the road. That's all I care about. But it does come with a quick shifter fitted from the factory. And guys, I got to tell you, Honda's quick shifters are really good. So I am absolutely looking forward to bringing this bike to you guys. Be on the lookout for that uploading, hopefully sometime around 6 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We shall see. So there is that quick sneak peek. So what else is going on? Well, again, GSXR 750 gets an S22 since the tire popped. And again, I cannot say enough good things about how well that tire held on, given how hard I was hitting that U-turn area, that left-hander that I was hitting. I put you like this. I was approaching that thing downshifting and the bike started wagging. And at that point, it wagged and I started to drop it in. And that's when the bike really did step out, but not that bad. Like, it just felt like dirt bike stuff at that point. Anyway, so that will be swapped back over. And yes, the Hornet is on the way. I do want to throw a leg, though, over the Transalp and the 750 Hornet as well at some time. I also still want to bring you guys the Hayabusa, although I think that bike may have sold, and maybe the Triumph Tiger 1200, if at all possible. Sam saying to look forward to see some classic bikes. About as close to classic as you're going to get is something like 20 years old, or a Royal Enfield, which, by the way, man, I got to tell you, Royal Enfield is so much fun. Any of their bikes are just full of character. Love those things. So let me get back up to you guys, find out what is going on in the live chat. DM's working. Nice. Appreciate it, buddy. Checking in with his favorite podcast. I appreciate it. DM's checking in. Ryan's checking in with Sam. Oh, Skid saying buddy of his pulled up to the ride. Couple of his noticed his back tire just slightly flat. Not as bad as we thought. When I hooked up, my compressor had 5 PSI. Eesh. Oh man, that's bad. Ryan's asking Hayabusa or Chally. Depends on the Challenger. Ryan saying finally got a battery. Nice. Aprilia RSV. If I can get a leg over the Tuono, there's one at the dealership. There was one, but I don't know if I can get on that one. Skid saying, oh, that happened on a Road King. Oh, damn. That's a big bike to not have an air compressor. But you had yours with me, so that's good. Ryan saying the Hornet is in. Yes. Fun bike. Ryan saying, at least this Hornet's not for the Brotherhood of Soy. No, it ain't. That Hornet's going to be a bad little dude, man. So here's the thing. The Hornet, the American market is weird with how and why they restrict motorcycles. And a lot of it has nothing to do with tailpipe emissions at all. It has way more to do with noise emissions, if you can believe that. Weird. There's a wide open throttle. Anyway, the Hornet, any of the American bikes, but the Hornet is restricted a lot. You de-restrict the Hornet, and you're looking at around 140 odd horsepower to the rear tire out of that machine. And so it's definitely no joke. Sam's liking the Boulevard. The Boulevard's a great bike. There may be a Boulevard coming up in an upcoming video, by the way. DM saying it does look compact. So, and Skid saying, not to mention some good ergos for us elder squids, indeed. I'll put it to you like this, man. The thing that I do like about the Hornet is that it's not trying to be something that it ain't. It's priced accordingly. You're paying for an engine and some pretty decent ergos, I think. But it is compact. And I'm telling you guys right now, I'm not kidding. The bike is dimensionally Dimensionally, now this was at first glance, and I didn't get any time to spend with it, but I will tomorrow morning. Dimensionally, man, I got to tell you, it's smaller than the GSXR 1000. It's from a nose to tail point of view. In fact, let me look up what the wheelbase is. Hold on. Hornet. Ooh. Hornet. Ooh. Yeah. Hornet. Hold on. I'll be back in a second. 1000 wheelbase. 57.3. So it's got roughly the same wheelbase. It's got a seat height of a GSXR 750. And it's checking in at 465 pounds. So basically, yeah, it's heavy. Okay. It doesn't have an aluminum frame. It's got a steel trellis frame, all of that. So it is built to a price point, but damn, I mean, it's got 150 horsepower and it's got sport bike parts on it. So it's going to be a neat bike. And I'm really looking forward to bringing that to you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun just to experience let's go for a ride on the hype train, right? I mean, this is a bike that so many folks have said, if you're going to have a bike like the last bike that you really feel like purchasing new, the Hornet would probably be it. Like, let's say you're up around 75-ish years old, 80 years old, and you're like, man, this is about as deep as I want to go with my sport biking. And trust me, when I say 75 or 80, I know guys that rip it at 75. So these are guys that'll freaking cut a head off. A lot of A group riders in their 60s and 70s, by the way. If you guys do any track days, you'll see some old heads running around out there that are just in some jacked up looking leathers, and everything's all torn up looking, and they got a bike that's about 20 years old. And they're out there just absolutely destroying fools. Yeah, it's because they've been on that same bike since they were like in their mid to late 40s and have been riding forever up until that point. It's kind of funny, really, when you see it. But yeah, that's a real thing, by the way. But anyway, getting back to it, the Hornet's a bike that I've really been looking forward to, just because, again, it is like that last bike that you get. Like you look at it and you go, man, it's got all the power. You don't need a lot more suspension with what you're going to be doing with that bike anyway. But I'm interested to feel how that bike is sprung and how that bike is set up from the factory. So that'll be pretty cool. Sam said he likes the early Boulevards. I don't know how much has changed on those bikes, but I can tell you that they're still a good looking bike. And, if you're looking for that type of bike, I mean, it is one of the ones that people do buy a lot of. I see a lot of Boulevards around here, by the way. I really need to do a video on them, because judging how well the Rebel 1100 video did, I need to be doing a lot more bikes like that. But I need to ride the Hornet before somebody picks it up, because by the time it's going to get scooped up, I'm pretty sure. But at any rate, so what's the latest with any other motorcycling news? Well, I think a lot of us are still waiting on Royal Enfield to drop the 750 finally. Royal Enfield's got a bike coming out, the Continental GT 750, that I am like, I'm like a terrier chasing its tail, waiting to get my hands on one of those bikes. I'm trying to work a deal with another dealership that does sell Royal Enfields, to where when they get one, I can get my hands on it. Because that bike, man, these little oil-cooled, air-cooled 750s that you're basically buying a 1966 motorcycle in 2025, they are so good in that they just deliver up such a raw, old school, very old school riding experience. And I'm telling y'all right now, if you've never had the opportunity to ride one and your ego doesn't come in the room before you do, you will find yourself practically in love with one of those bikes if you ever get a chance to ride one. I rode the 650 Continental GT about a week before it sold. And you know me, guys, I fall in love with just about every bike that I'm riding. I'm such a motorcycle whore, but I fell in love with that bike because it was faster than I thought it was going to be on the highway. Well, not faster. It had more power to deliver. It had better power on reserve than I thought it was going to have on the highway. The other thing that I liked a lot about that bike, though, was the ergonomics of the thing, the way that it felt to ride, the rear set placement, the handlebar placement was just really freaking good. And so the more I thought about it, the more I thought, damn, if this thing, and even Skids was saying, dude, you got to check that thing out with a 750 bore kit, the big bore kit. Well, damn, now they're going to be coming from the factory with a 750 big bore kit. So, oh, wait a second. Ryan's got a very important question. Okay, fellas, salt, pepper, garlic on brisket. Y'all think it's okay to use more seasonings? Whoa, wait a minute now. Okay, so first of all, what salt, okay, what pepper, and what garlic? Bro, you can't, okay. Hold up. When we're talking brisket, first of all, you don't want to just use normal table salt. You need coarse salt, okay? And you want to use it sparingly, but you want to spread it over the entire skin of that brisket. But not crazy. You just want a small amount, but you want it all over that brisket. The second thing is pepper. Now, you got to be careful with pepper because if you go too nuts with the pepper, it's gonna start to take away from the flavor of the brisket. I would say salt it, but I don't know that I would hit it too hard with pepper. Just kind of go over it. The other thing is the garlic. See, here's the thing. How did you prep the garlic? Because now the brisket, the flavor of the brisket is what you're going for. You're not going for the brisket and friends. Okay. So when you're putting a brisket together, it's not about what you do to the brisket. It's how do you prepare the brisket and how does the brisket show up to the party on its own? A brisket should be able to show up butt naked, not wearing any clothes, and be able to navigate the room on its own without any infringement. You start putting way too many seasonings to come along with it, and they're going to be trying to carry a train that the brisket doesn't have. So fire roasted garlic, okay, that's good. What I would prefer to see, I like that it's been dehydrated and ground. Fire roasted is good. What I would prefer to see it is with Irish butter, which is a salted butter, which now you can do away with your salt if you chose to, or you can manually grind a little bit of salt into this. Have that in a copper pot on your, well, I say copper pot, I don't know what you're cooking it with, but render that down with the garlic, muddle the garlic into the butter, but use very sparingly butter. The idea is that you're rendering that garlic down and then do a very light glaze over that brisket, but not too early. This is like in the last 30 minutes before you serve the brisket. Anyway, that's food talk. And that will go very well, but muddle, make sure you do the fire roasted thing, but you're going to want to muddle it into Irish butter. Sam Pitmaster Mason's checking in. Okay, let me get back to it. Where am I? Oh, DM's got the new battery, lithium ion. So I am thinking, well, the 750 at some point is going to move to a lithium battery. I may or may not go that route with the 1000. I'll tell you the reason why. I don't see it being a value add so much with the 1000 as much as I could see it maybe being a value add with the 750, just because all the weight, you know what I mean? Like I want to try to get the weight as down as much as I can realistically on the 750. In other words, what do I mean by realistically? I'm not going with a full tie exhaust. I just can't afford it right now. But I am going with a full M4 stainless. The rest of the bike, you know, getting rid of the mirrors and doing all the rest of that stuff. It's dropped the weight of the bike now by like 5 or 6 pounds, 4 or 5 pounds, maybe not 6, but 4 or 5 for sure. Oh, Ryan's talking about Moose brand for the battery. Talk about saving $100 over the anti-gravity. That would be really good. Skid saying that S&S has the 850 big bore kit. Oh, shucks. Ryan saying he likes to use pecan wood. Heard a lot of guys like pecan. Pecan's good. Hickory's good. A lot of guys use mixes. They'll use pecan and hickory, I think. Is it hickory? Was it hickory? Might have been hickory. Anyway, yeah, lots of different ways to smoke them for sure. Skid's talking about for Royal Enfields that start life as a 650. I'll tell you what, man, the Royal Enfields are so much fun. And I tell you what, other thing too, motorcycle guys can be kind of weird, but I can tell you this, I have so much fun riding everything that I ride that you can't really convince me that I've ever ridden a bike that was bad. I have lately ridden bikes that I didn't really fall in love with, but it was really more the technology that had me a little bit throwed when it comes to those bikes. Mainly it was like the Honda CBR 650. The E-clutch thing, if that bike was offered with just a normal clutch, it'd be a great bike, by the way. A great competitor to the R7 even. I'll go so far as to say that. That's how good that bike was. DM's talking about the Minerva Amish garlic butter. I've heard good things about it. Have not tried it myself. The Irish salted is very good. Very, very good. But let's see what else. But yeah, the Royal Enfields, I feel like Royal Enfield, it almost pains me to say this in a way, but it's almost like the Royal Enfield lineup is more Triumph than Triumph is right now. And the reason why I say it like that is, Triumph is doing everything it can. Oh gosh, how do I say this? Triumph has way too many irons in the fire, in my opinion. I think that they've lost their way a little bit when it comes to sport bikes, when it comes to the nostalgia bikes. They're having a hard time. Now, keep in mind, this doesn't mean that sales are down. They're selling what sells, and they're selling some amazing bikes. Dude, y'all know how I feel about the T120, right? I mean, that's a great bike. But it's not just that. It's other bikes that they have where you just kind of go, man, if you're going to have all of this other stuff, can you at least just make a real Daytona? Because let's be honest, the Daytona 660 is not doing all that great. At all, matter of fact. Let's see. Oh, Ryan saying, I've seen the other Ducati Cafe Scrambler. The new Ducati is nice, isn't it? Maybe miss CF the 700. Yeah, I tell you what, I like the Cafes a lot. I'm not kidding when I say this, Ryan. If you ever get a chance to ride the new Continental GT, it is going to have a fairing on it. It's got a Cafe fairing. That bike is looking to be a pretty badass rig. Skid saying, get the Ducati Scrambler. Dude, a lot of them love it. A lot of them love it. Ryan saying, oh, just went to try. Yeah, they offer. So Triumph offers a ton of different models now. And Bajaj is cranking out. Listen, Triumph is going to end up having in the 400 class alone, the Speed 400, the Scrambler 400, the Scrambler X 400, I think is what it's called, which is an upgraded version of the Scrambler. They're going to have the Thruxton 400. What else are they going to have? Is there another one? Well, I can think of four, or maybe it's 4 or 5. Maybe it's 4 already, right? Yeah, the Speed, the 2 Scrams, and the Thrux. So you've got 4 bikes that are going to be built off that same platform. You've got the Street Triples, which you've got 3 of those, and they're all the same bike, just with different tunes. I don't know about that. That bike needs to have a fairing. It needs to be unrestricted. It needs to be about 135 horsepower and just let that thing into the world. I put it to you like this. I really like riding motorcycle. And a lot of times the bike takes, and this is okay. So I just got through filming, so I was a little bit late. I was filming the GSXR 750 versus the GSXR 1000 by the numbers. And I tried to make that video as short as I possibly could. I talk about the cost, the weight, maintenance cost, insurance cost, but I try to keep it fairly generic. That video, by the way, took about 50 takes. It drove me absolutely crazy. I almost gave up on it. Which is funny because, like, here's a behind the scenes for you. You guys know I don't do any editing, right? Like, I don't get in here and go, oh, I'm going to cut this, paste that, and move it over. If I do any editing, it's all pause editing. And so everything's happening in real time, if you were. And man, if I screw something up, I got to stop and start over. And a lot of times it could be something like just a knock, or it can be anything, or a fly goes up my nose or something. It could be anything stupid. So anyway, I was dealing with a bunch of dumb, like, I can't believe I said that like that. Or I'll say something. And the other thing too, is when I'm doing a video like that, the way that you start to work is that it's the weirdest thing too. Your brain is about 5 or 8 seconds ahead of your mouth. And you're literally filtering this info as it's coming through. And I will know that I'm about to say something stupid before it comes out of my mouth. And I'm just like, damn it. I gotta, you kind of lose your train of thought. Anyway, it's kind of funny how it works like that. Cause I mean, I'm not reading off of a script either. It's just brain stuff coming out of my brain bucket head thing. I'm smart. Let's see. Let me check back in with you guys. I just can't see paying $20,000 for a glorified scooter. What was that? Okay. So Sam saying, I've seen and spoken to a Livewire owner. Love to see you get a leg over one. Man, here's the funny thing about Livewire. As an electric conveyance, the Livewire is really good. I haven't ridden one, but as just a get you from point A to point B, the Livewire is really good. It's an electric motorcycle. It's a full-size bike. The only problem with the Livewire, and this is a problem that a lot of folks have with electric motorcycles, is that e-bikes do the same thing and they cost a fraction of the price. Also, e-scooters are getting to the point where they're spooky fast. There was one of them, the guy's last name happens coincidentally to be Mason. The something Mason scooter, and this guy builds like just freaking hot rodded scooters. These will do like between 50 and 70 miles per hour. Okay. We're not talking about something small, but again, it's, for kicking around the city or doing whatever. I mean, you might only have a range of 40 miles, but your real range that you're going to be traveling that day might be 15, right? So for the guys that have ridden the Livewire, everybody says it is a thing to ride. It does good. But it's an answer to a question that I think a lot of people just simply weren't asking. And unfortunately, the stigma behind EVs is bad enough as it sits. If you can see past it, and if going for a 30-minute squirt down the road and back is something that you like to do, then the Livewire is probably going to be a good bike for you. Outside of that, I can't really, it's more of a novelty to me than anything else. Skid saying the air-cooled Ducati gives Harley-Davidson Evo vibes. Changed my mind. I tell you what, if it's giving Evo vibes, that's a good thing. Some say the Evo was the last good engine Harley-Davidson ever made. Ryan saying, really nice. These little CC motors are a new rage all over the world. Oh, yeah, big time. Oh, talking about, yeah, Sid saying, be right, the Royal Enfield Continental with the bubble fairing and the big bore kit. Oh, dude, for reals, are you kidding me, bro? All right, say a lot of the Royal Enfield bikes are just neat bikes. They are really neat bikes, right? Like, here's the thing. And God dang it, this is one of the things that just kind of irks me. Again, maybe it's an American motorcyclist thing, and I don't mean like American as in Harley Davidson or Indian. I mean like just you're from the states, and we're so spread out that. And I get it, bigger bikes, cruisers. This land we live in, so to speak, favors the bigger bikes. But I'm telling you, man, if you live in a metro area and you just want to go rip around local roads and highways, man, I'm telling you, a Royal Enfield Continental GT with a big bore kit would keep me properly entertained for days upon days upon days on end. It's a neat bike. If you've never had a chance to ride one and you look at it and go, I don't know, it's an Indian buying it. Guys, it is the rawest form of motorcycle you're ever going to ride by today's standards. And they're so much fun to ride. They're so much fun to spend time with. And the guys that own this is another thing about Royal Enfield owners. Guys, when it comes to brand loyalty, the Royal Enfield owner is a quiet juggernaut. You have to remember that Royal Enfield is only second to Honda in terms of numbers of motorcycles sold. All over the planet, there are small displacement Royal Enfields that are everywhere. Hey, watch a Bollywood video or a Bollywood movie. Any motorcycle you see the hero riding, he's riding a Royal Enfield. It's any of these the countries that you can't find on a map, that you cannot pronounce with the mouth that's attached to your face. They love Royal Enfields. And I know that because I couldn't pronounce them and I couldn't find them. So I look at this brand and I go, dude, when you look at it from a global standpoint, from the coolness of the bikes, from the mission statement of these machines, man, they are really freaking good. And I mean, that little 650 Continental GT would hold 75 or 80 miles an hour like it was nothing. Like it had plenty of power on reserve at that speed. But again, these guys are crazy brand loyal, and they don't buy just one Royal Enfield. They're not just going to have a Continental GT. These bikes are so inexpensive. I shit you not. You'll see Royal Enfield guys that have a Continental GT, the 350 version of that thing. Then they'll have one of the Himalayan sitting in their garage. They're going to have like 2, 3, 4 of these bikes, and they ride them everywhere. If you looked at the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, that's a ride that Triumph puts together, and it's all vintage or vintage-like bikes. Whenever I've done it, I was wearing, the vest and the tie and all that stuff on the T120. And anyway, you do one of the Distinguished Gentleman's Rides, and there are Royal Enfields peppered all over the place in there. And again, it's just because they're fun ass bikes that don't break the bank. They don't really tend to break down either. Every part on that thing is under stressed, and it does motorcycle stuff. It makes a lot of neat noises because it's not water cooled. So a lot more of the mechanical noises resonate through the block and the heads because there's no water to stifle it. It's a lot of cool stuff, man. Ryan saying the small CC motorcycle is in such demand. CF Moto created CF Moto Light for 200 CC and under. I mean, not for a long stretch, but in town, it's pretty cool. Ryan said the only British motor that doesn't leak. That's very true. The Papio is another one. Yeah. Just something to goof off with, man. This is the problem with motorcycles too. A lot of people take them far too seriously. And I'll tell you what, that's one of the things that I really like the most about my 750 and my T120, and in a way the Daytona over my GSXR 1000, is that I don't take I take the I take the riding seriously. I don't mean I don't take it seriously, but what I mean is that it's just more fun to have fun than it is to, be out on a mission on a leader class bike. I mean, they say it's a lot more fun to ride a slow bike fast than a fast bike slow. That's not the right way to look at it. It's a lot more fun to ride a slow bike fast than it is to ride a fast bike fast. And what does that mean? Well, it means that a slow bike fast just means that it's fast for the slow bike. You're well within your skill set range. This goes for cars too. But when you start getting into the really, and I mean honest to God fast stuff, Apex Predator type fast, when you're hauling ass on one of those bikes, it's not like it's fun. It's a riot. Don't get me wrong. But there's a lot more at stake, and there's a lot more going on. And there's your senses are just being flooded with information. Whereas on the slower bike, man, everything's coming in at a snail. Your brain is working fast, but everything is happening slowly. With the leader class bikes, or even the 750 for that matter, can get to this point where your brain's going fast, but everything is going fast. And so that's where the fun comes into play. Once you can slow all that down mentally, then it becomes fun again. But I tell you what, the little Royal Enfields are a freaking hoot. And I just mean little in terms of displacement, because not any of them are bigger than 750 cc's now. But yeah, the mini bikes are pretty cool. The mini motos are another big thing. Oh, speaking of mini motos, I might be doing a DAX. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know if I'm going to do a Trail 125 or a DAX. I'll probably do a Honda DAX. And just because I like mini motos too. Listen, I like anything on two wheels. I have never ever been a brand loyalist. I've never been, it's got to be an inline four or a V twin or a, V4 or a triple or anything. I've never been like that. I have so much stupid fun on motorcycles that it's one of the problems with me is that it's hard for me to do a ride. That's why I don't do a true review. Okay. Oh, so some of you guys may have asked, why don't I do more actual reviews on the bikes? Like, why don't I break it down and do all this other stuff? And you'll hear me say I don't do that because I'm not going to read you the owner's manual. You want to know the real reason why I don't do it though? Like I could, I guess, I could focus on those items. Guys, all I want to do is ride the thing. And a lot of times guys, they look at the motorcycles and they go, yeah, it's got all this tech or whatever. But I didn't buy the machine for the tech. I bought it for how the bike makes me feel to ride. And that's why I will, I'll kind of go over some hot points on the bike when it comes to technology or features or whatever. But listen, the bike, the components are whatever they are. We're talking forks, shocks, whatever. Those components exist in that world, right? They are what they are. They're on the bike. Telling you about it, like, yeah, it's got forks. It's got Showa big piston forks. They do great. They're fully adjustable. This thing's a blast to ride. Watch this, and that's what I'm here for. Ryan saying, I watch the ride along videos when I can't ride, so just ride, please. Exactly. I'm the same way. If it's a rainy day or I'm stuck at work or I'm over here just, doing whatever, I'm, on the road or something like that, I want to hear the bike in the background. If I'm sitting there doing whatever, I want to hear what the guy is saying as he's riding the bike. And I don't really care about the doodads, the gadgets. I don't care what it does from a technology standpoint. I just want to ride the thing. And that's, you might have picked up on it quite a bit on the Street Glide video that I did, where, I'm sitting on this bike and it's a freaking Harley Davidson, man. It's a freaking Street Glide. Like my favorite Harley that I get to ride. I get to ride the thing. And I'm looking at technology and I'm starting to talk about it, and you hear me just switch gears, like it does all this cool shit, whatever, gear in, fired up, let's go. Because this is what we're here for. So anyway, that's the reason why. And you might pick up on some of that stuff every once in a while, where I'll be in the middle of I'll be talking about something, and then the ADHD kicks in, and I'm like, I don't care about any of the stuff that I'm talking about. I just want to ride this thing. That's where it really does kick in. Oh, Morgan Super 3. Good bike. Is that the same one I'm thinking of? I don't know if it's the same one I'm thinking of. Skid's asking, are the Kawasaki hybrid motorcycles taken off? No, they can't give them away. Nobody wants them. DM saying, track. Oh, guys, track only. Check out the GP2 194 speed American Moto GP racer, John Jobkins. I've heard of that, but I can't remember why I've heard of that. Yeah, the Morgan trike. I love Morgans, the cars. Those are cool too. Yeah, they're 500 freaking pounds, the hybrid bikes. And the problem is they're 500 pounds. And they're not cheap. And I want to say that they had gutted the price on those things just to get them off the lot. Yeah, John Hopkins. I don't know, man. I don't remember. I think I saw it, but I don't know why I saw that bike. Skid saying it's Street Bob 600. Yeah, it's ridiculous. The hybrid bike is really nothing more than what I would call just an engineering exercise. And for the early adopters and for the guys that appreciate that kind of technology, it's a novelty at best. And, a lot of guys just don't like that kind of stuff. Yeah, I guess it would have been different if it had something kind of cool also going for it, like maybe the electric motor was mounted in the front wheel, right? Maybe it did something cool like that. But then again, for something like that, you would probably want more of a maybe like a adventure bike, the dual purpose type bikes. Sovereign is in. What's up, man? This kid's saying a Ninja 500 engine, sort of with hybrid battery. Poor choice there, Cowie. Yeah, I think they did that more for packaging. And what ended up happening is that, just like any hybrid, it is not the best of both worlds. You get an underperforming gas motor with an underperforming electric motor to give you marginally adequate power output, weird. It's all I can say. Sovereign's testing out a Samsung Dex feature. Turns an S25. I have an S25. Good phone. Very good phone, by the way. Glad I got it. Ryan saying they could give us a hybrid bike that is the future. Somehow it doesn't have rear sprocket. I'll put it to you like this. There have been, I think, unsuccessfully, there have been, we know the attempts for e-motorcycles and how that hasn't really ever taken off. There is a place for that technology, but with motorcycling, but I think it has more to do with maybe the trike crowd than anything else. It's a bit of an inefficiency. I should say practical inefficiency for a regular two-wheeler. It adds weight, complexity. It adds a lot that a lot of people just don't need or want in a motorcycle. And I gotta say, man, I don't know that I would be the first guy or the 5th or the 10th to ever get excited about that kind of technology on a motorcycle. Um, hmm. Skids. Oh, Sovereign saying you can buy a dock that plugs into your phone, your C port, to display to your TV monitor. Interesting. Oh, you check that out. We want the darn Power Cruiser, Cowie. You know what? I would love to see the Power Cruiser make a comeback. The hot rod 80s muscle bike. That's what I would like to. Well, 70s, late 70s, early 80s, even mid 80s muscle bike. You know, like the Eliminator, like the well, in a way, like the V Rod from Harley Davidson, which it just was. It was just a bit outside. It was just a little bit past. Um, you know, your VMAX type bikes. You know, the Seika 2 bikes, and all of those that, you know, it's like it really was muscle cars on two wheels, and that's something that. And these were motorcycles that only very hairy, burly men would dare to ride, right? Like these were some machines, bro. I don't know that you were able, it was like illegal to ride one of those bikes without a cigarette hanging out of your mouth. Like that's where we're at with those bikes. We need some of that kind of bike back. I don't want to, you know, the hybrids and I don't know, something that's got some cool factor to it. Oh, Sovereign's talking about the Dex deal for the phone. Because they throw that H2 power plant in a standard cruiser and let her eat. Sovereign, yes, I talked to Paul. We were texting back and forth when during that. Yes. She's saying that would be a proper engineering exercise. It would be a hell of an engineering exercise. Skid saying took Paul long enough to get rid of that 170, dude. I've been, and he would tell you the same. I mean, it's no secret, but I was telling him many months ago, get rid of that thing. And it's not because I have beef with the car. It's just I know, and he and I have talked in depth about what works and what doesn't work with the channel, and racing stuff. Just it never does well, and I don't know why. Um, oh yeah, no, yeah, he beat the Tesla. Well, the Tesla actually started reeling that car in on the big end. Um, Ryan saying he's dying for a rotary motor on a bike. They, you know, what's funny? Suzuki had a rotary motorcycle, and what's weird is that it was. What's weird about that whole rotary thing is that it was just and still is rotary engine technology. There are some engineering challenges when it comes to a true rotary. Plus, rotaries can get a little bit divisive amongst engine guys because the rotary only takes into account the volume of one of the rotors uh, when it is at full intake stroke, for lack of a better way of putting it. And that can be a bit frustrating because it's like, well, it's 1.3 liters. And it's like, well, no, if that, like, it's not really 1.3 liters. Like it is, but it isn't because you're firing 3 times and you've got 2 rotations. It's not really 3 liters. It's really more like 4 liters if you measure a rotary based more on how a V8 would be measured, for example. And so if you do it like that, then it's not as power dense and it's not as efficient as it looks on paper. But the reality is it doesn't matter what the displacement is. It's just a freaking motor, and it either works or it doesn't, and it's so big and it makes X power, right? Oh, hang on a second. There is a reason why there's a ton of RX-7s with V8 swaps out there. They work really well. Sovereign said, B, what do you think of Raybus's ceramic brake pads? They're not bad. I mean, they're good. It's a name brand, and they're pads that work. I wouldn't have a problem putting them on a daily at all. Came in for an oil change, said the master cylinder was low. And yes, if your master cylinder, if your reservoir is showing low, 99 times out of 100, it's because the pads are wearing down. It's as we would say, it's never a leak. Like, you would know that there's a leak in your brake system. Hopefully you would know. But yeah, and here's the thing: if you top it back up, you need to know why the brake fluid is not a constant loss system. If your brake fluid is low, it's because that fluid is now in the calipers, and it's okay to top it off, but just know that you are probably due for a brake pad swap at that point. And it used to be, I say it used to be, some cars had brake pad warning lights, and all it did is it measured where the piston was in the caliper. And if it got to a certain point, then it would say your brakes are low. And it just measured the resting place. I think BMWs had those. Sam talking about a Pantera with an illuminator. That's exactly what that car needed, because the 351 Cleveland that came in those cars is heavy, heavy, heavy. If it was a Cleveland car. So I think some of them had Windsors too. I don't know why Pro Stops would be more. Raybustus is just a known brand. Might be what material they're made from. So AutoZone may cost more because they have a lifetime warranty. Don't know. Couldn't tell you. Don't know at all. But anyway, getting back to it. Yeah, the bike content has been so much fun though. And I get to ride the Hornet tomorrow. So guys, I am going to go ahead and wrap it up. We're coming up on almost an hour. I will be, fingers crossed, bringing you guys that Hornet tomorrow afternoon. So just be on the lookout for that. Ryan saying Wings Wednesday. We may get into that. What I may do is depending on how Saturdays go, because Saturday is the freaking dadgum, the internet or the live feed, whatever it is that makes all that work, has been kind of crap on Saturdays. So yeah, we may be getting into something different on that. Simply said the Windsor not. I don't think you could put a 351M in that. That's a Y block. But with that, guys, I got to wrap it up. Listen, get out there and do something cool for somebody. Chances are they need it way more than you know. When next you see me, hopefully it'll be on that Hornet. I can't wait to bring that bike to you. The tire is getting replaced on the GSX-R 750 tomorrow. So I'll bring you a little bit of an update with that. We're going with an S22 on the back of that. I'm not replacing the BT016 up front. It's going to be fine. And the 016 offers up really good feel too. It's kind of like having the RS11 up front with the S23 out back setup that I have on the 1000. Anyway, with that, guys, I do got to wrap it up. Y'all have a great one. Take care.